Yeah.
Member for Blain.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I rise tonight to speak about my electorate and particularly the good people of Bellarmac, who unfortunately have been dealing with the short end of the stick that was dealt to them by the poor planning of the previous Henderson government. But more on that another time. Tonight I want to talk about the issues with Opticomm and the raw deal that this provider has given the good people of Bellarmac. A little bit of history. Bellarmac was built as a planned community from 2009 to 2011, construction starting around 2012, most of the houses built by 2014. This was in the era of the NBN rollout, and as a new suburb, it didn't get access to the full NBN, it got Telstra Velocity. Now, Telstra Velocity had a lot of issues for a long time. There was high cost, low speed, and a pronounced lack of competition, which many of the constituents, of my constituents in Bellarmac, raised with me. Recently, in the last few years, they've transferred over to another company called Opticomm. Telstra Velocity have been moving out of this business, so they sold their assets over to Opticomm, and we were hoping for more competition, more choice, lower prices, better service all around. And unfortunately have not fully delivered. What I rise to speak about tonight, Madam Speaker, is something that has happened quite recently. I'd love to table these, but unfortunately the quality is not very good. I'm looking for a higher quality version that I will table at a later date. So the people of Bellarmac were recently unpleasantly surprised to receive this letter in their mailbox informing them that their devices were being upgraded. Now, last year we had some transitional issues. I'll back up a bit. For context, as a planned suburb, all the digital services and free-to-air services for Bellarmac are provided by the NBN network, or the fibre network. The idea originally was that there would be no antennas on top of roofs because someone decided they didn't like that. So if you're in Bellarmac and you want to have free-to-air TV, you need to plug into the box from Opticomm. And if you don't have that, if that box doesn't have a TV out, then you are out of luck. We had some issues last year, which I was fortunate enough to be able to find a technician in Opticomm to resolve. But back to the letter that the people of Bellarmac received. It says, your device is being upgraded. A technician will attend your property and upgrade your device. You don't get a choice, it's just happening. And for most of the people in Bellarmac, because of the covenant, they're not allowed to have an external fence. So that box is exposed to the world. They are not able to opt out. It says, your free-to-air TV service will be impacted. If you currently watch free-to-air TV delivered by the Opticomm fibre network, please note that this service will cease to work. Cease to work once your ONT is replaced, optical network device. This is due to the legacy fibre TV technology being decommissioned across the network. To continue watching free-to-air TV, you will need to make alternative arrangements before we upgrade equipment at your residence. Thank you very much, Opticomm. So what they've basically said here is if you want to watch free-to-air TV, good luck. You need to go and either pay to get, at your own cost, get an antenna installed on your roof and cable run through and terminate it at a patch panel, or you can buy a little dodgy one that plugs in the back of your TV that has subpar reception. So on behalf of the residents of Bellarmac, I rise tonight to complain about the treatment of the residents of Bellarmac by Opticomm. I will be writing to the Telecommunications Ombudsman on their behalf, and I will also be writing to the Federal Minister for Communications to raise this issue and request that they direct Opticomm to provide better alternatives to the residents of Bellarmac. Thank you, Madam Speaker. Now, Madam Speaker, I rise tonight to talk about a fantastic charity event which I recently was able to participate in, the Grand Fondo, the Sun-built Grand Fondo. I participated in the polypedal along with the member for Breitling over there, who set a cracking pace, getting back before all the rest of us, the Chief Minister, the member for Nelson, myself, and the member for Casuarina also. And yes, I'm just working my way around the chamber, member for Johnston. The member for Johnston and the member for Nightcliff were there as well. So we were all out there peddling for a good cause. And my cause was the Salvation Army, because they have a domestic violence shelter for women in Palmerston. I won't say any more specifically than that, but I think we all agree in this house that that's a vital service that I'm very happy to support. I'm looking forward to being able to present them with a cheque from Darwin Family Law, and thank you very much to Darwin Family Law for sponsoring the polypedal. Madam Speaker, I would like to briefly report to the House that the show circuit for the Northern Territory has recently wrapped up with the Royal Darwin Show, and in my first year, I'm proud that I was able to attend every show as it moved its way up the Stuart Highway, starting with your own lovely town of Alice Springs, then Tennant Creek, Catherine, and finally the Royal Darwin Show. And myself and the member for Goyder, member for Casuarina, we took the opportunity to explore part of your lovely country, the West McDonalds. And I must say, it is an absolutely stunning part of the Territory, and I'm itching for the opportunity to go back there with my family and walk some of those trails. And I would love to do the Larapinta Trail one day, although I'm not sure how. We're going to have to carry a lot of water and food with me, but I'm looking forward to it. We also got a tour by the member for Barkly around Tennant Creek about the amazing opportunities that are opening up in the Barkly. So, the land of opportunity. We saw the Juno Centre, which is a fantastic education facility, which I'll talk about another time. The Youth Justice facility there, which was mentioned today, doing some great work, and the Barkly Work Camp. We also got to see the Nobles Knob mine and hear about the large reserves of gold that are just waiting to be tapped under the ground outside Tennant Creek. So all the best to the member for Barkly, and I look forward to going back another time and seeing industry just leaping into life under this CLP Finocchiaro government. And just briefly before I finish, corrections to correct the record for today. So member for Johnston, I sent she mentioned some EPA readings for Palmerston that weren't working. I jumped on there today, and the readings for Palmerston do seem to be working fine. They are recording readings, so maybe there's another time when you jumped on and they weren't working, but when I jumped on there today, they seem to be working fine. And also just to note that given prevailing winds over most of the year come from the southeast, Palmerston is actually not downwind of the Middle Arm facility. It would tend to blow over the port and Winnelly and the airport rather than Palmerston. So we do have a lot of air pollution, but unfortunately it's from the annual burn-offs. They impact our air quality quite a bit. And lastly, for the member for Daly, it's good to see the member for Daly defending his leader as her staffer. Before he was elected, he spent a lot of time travelling around and supporting her. And for the people who live in Darwin, the suburb is Waggaman. Maybe in Sydney it's pronounced Wagaiman, I don't know, but people who grew up in the Territory pronounce that suburb as Waggaman. Thank you, Madam Speaker. Good night.